Welcome back to the Queer Quarters, where we dive into the lives and stories that shape the LGBTQ plus community. I'm your host, Jason, and today we have a very special guest. We'll be speaking with Parker, a transgender individual who uses he, him pronouns and is currently exploring his sexuality. Parker will be sharing his journey, challenges, and experiences with us today. How are you doing today, Parker?
I'm tired and stressed.
I think we all are. All right. So, can you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background?
I'm Parker, I don't know. I'm such a fun guy.
So, when did you first realize that your gender identity was different from what you were assigned at birth?
I guess I don't want to be clothing, but there was points where I would be forced to wear dresses or usual feminine clothing, and it was so uncomfortable and I hated it, and I was like, this is not me. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel like this is who I am. I just felt so not me. It felt uncomfortable to be in there, and it just felt uncomfortable to be seen like that, and it was embarrassing because it didn't feel like that was who I was. So I guess that, and it was just, I didn't like being viewed that way, because it was that's not who I feel comfortable being seen as. I don't identify with that kind of person, so I didn't like dressing up, I didn't like makeup, I didn't like all these girly stereotypical girly things, and it was that was viewed as weird, or that was viewed as okay, well, something's obviously wrong, and it would just be embarrassing to either talk about that stuff or wear that kind of stuff, because it was not what I wanted to do, and it was not how I eventually identified as. So
what has your journey been like in terms of transitioning?
It's been fine. There are certain things that I wish I can do and I can't, and it's it's hard, but for the most part, I've figured my way around, and it is my journey, and I get to describe it, and I get to talk about it how I feel. So I feel like I've been through it, and it's fine, but there are other things that I wish I can do at this very second, and I can't. And I got over that, and I understand that I can take my time and understand myself and understand my body and do the things that I want to do in my own time. And it's not a time restraint where I have to do this, I have to do that all at once. It's transitioning, it's time and effort and understanding. There's not a set time that you have to transition or you have to make yourself be this way. There's not, I don't believe that I need to be whatever now. I am who I am now, and there are things that I would change and that I would want to do, but for right now, I don't think I need to get them done immediately. I want to legally change my name. I can do that whenever I feel like. Right now, I would like to get in a decent place in my life to do that myself. I don't need to announce that to my family that I'm doing that. I would like to do that on my own time. So, right now, it's been okay.
I think that's a very empowering message for anyone that's listening that is struggling themselves as well. I mean, what you just said is very inspiring. Even if you don't think it isn't, it really was.
I mean, you should yourself understand you and take your time to understand what you want to do, and not worry about oh, I need to get this done now. I need to make sure people view me this way, blah, blah, blah. I need to get this done. No, it's if you are in an unsafe or uncomfortable environment at your point right now, don't wait to, for example, I need to legally change my name. I don't feel like I need to do that right now because I can't. So if you're struggling with that too, take a moment to understand and assess when you can do that. And if it's a month from now, if it's a week from now, it doesn't matter. You don't need to do everything this moment, or this very moment that you feel this thing. You can take time for yourself and take time to understand when you're going to be the most comfortable to do the things that you want to do with yourself. So
yeah. So can you share some significant moments or milestones in your journey as a transgender individual?
I guess I can say that a significant moment would be when I came out to my dad. He was at first you're on the other side of the fence, whatever. He loves that term, whatever. And now he genuinely refuses to call me his daughter. He loves to talk about his son. Like, he loves, like, supporting me and everything. And what, like, the biggest one, like, recently, like, genuinely, was when I went to prom. And he was so proud of me, and you can see in the pictures together, like, he called me handsome. He said that I look so nice, and that he was extremely proud of me and, like, where I've come and how I am comfortable with myself. And we'll have these conversations, like, I don't care no matter what, and if anyone ever has a problem with you, like, they can talk to me, like, I don't care. And he's just so genuinely supportive, and he will tell me all the time, like, no matter what, like, I don't know where you got this from or why you're on the other side of the fence, but I'll support you no matter what, and I love you, and, you know, like, you'll always be my daughter, like, you'll always be my child, but I do support you and love you no matter what. And it's, like, we'll have these conversations about it, and it, like, it makes me cry. Like, it's, like, I never got that, and I'm finally getting that from someone, and it's just, like, really... It's really nice. It's nice to hear, especially from my dad, because I've had such a rocky relationship with my dad in general. So it's like, after that, like, it changed our entire relationship, like, completely, like, 180. Like, milestones, I guess, would just be actually coming to terms with myself that I'm trans, like, legitimately getting out of denial, being like, hey, you are, like, you know that, right? Like, I guess that, and just, like, actually feeling like I pass, because as of current day, I feel like I pass pretty easily, and it took a while to get there, but for for a few years now, I've been very comfortable with myself, and just, like, being able to get there, just in general, like, my body image in general, and just, like, if I pass or not, like, huge step towards my transition completely. Like, genuinely, I never thought that I would be able to, like, be seen as how I am seen now. And it just really, I think that I would consider that a milestone, is, like, actually being comfortable in my body finally, and being able to know, like, hey, that person on the street called me sir, let's fucking go. Like, like, let's go. Like, come on. So, I guess that.
So, validation and self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Those were your two biggest ones, yeah. So, if you're okay with it, going a little deeper, more into your family, how did your family and friends react when you came out as transgender? So, easier one would be answering my friends. So, my friends, some of them were like, yeah. It was like, okay, like, we know, like, we were waiting for you. And then I feel like that's with almost everybody. And then some of them were like, oh, like, confused about it, or just, like, honestly just wanting to know, like, how I figured that one out. I guess certain friends that I've had forever were like, hey, like, good for you, like, that's so, like, we're proud of you and everything, like, good for you for finally coming to terms with yourself. And then my family, my mom and my mom's side, ignore it, they don't like it, they hate me, pretty much, like, they don't, it's not a topic we talk about, it's not a thing, like, my mom just chooses to ignore it and everything, so it's rough coming from that side, it is hard, and it's upsetting. But I've grown to understand her view, and I've grown to understand that right now she will not change, and her mind will not change. But with time, I'm hoping it does. Again, everything takes time. Everything is just a moment, and moments pass, and everything is going to be temporary. So these feelings that she has, and how I feel about her, is temporary. And they may change, they may not, who knows? I can't predict that. But I'm hoping she'll grow to understand me, and grow to understand how I am and, like, who I am. So that sucks. Like, it sucks. It's not fun. But my dad's side, obviously, is so accepting, and it balances out, because I know I have support, and I know I have people who actually love me, and I'm able to be myself around. So I have that. And when I came out to my dad's side, we were on family vacation, actually. So my entire family literally found out the same day, because it went in our hotel room,
and it was like a quick little message, and then the entire hotel, which we like literally all of us like are in, it went around so fast like wildfire. Like I was like, hey, I need to talk to you, and I sat my stepmom and my dad down, and I was like, I'm trans. I'm trans, hope that's not a problem. And then my stepmom was like, okay, what do we call you? Like, who are you? And I was just like, I was shook. I was like, this is such a positive reaction that I was not expecting. Like, I was so nervous. Like, we just got to the hotel. We just settled into our room. And I was like, this is the perfect moment. I'm gonna come out. Like, we sat down, and I was just like, yeah, so I'm Parker. Like, I hope it's not, like, an issue, blah, blah, blah. And, like, my dad was like, why would it ever be an issue? Like, we're gonna have to get used to the change, but whatever. So it ended up literally telling 2 people. And then the second we went down to the pool, my uncle was like, so you're Parker now? Like, you can't do that to me. Like, you can't do that to someone. Like, my entire family was just like, okay, so this is this now? I was like, yeah. And I was able, and that was, like, the first times I was actually able to introduce myself, like, as Parker to family I never met, family that I have known and that has known me. Like, I was just able to finally introduce myself as myself with no consequences, no nothing, no, like, whatever. And it felt so good. It felt so good. That was 2021, I want to say, that I came out to my dad's side. And then I came out to my mom as trans when? A while ago, like, maybe, like, 2018, because that was, like, when my whole entire journey of just a human being began. But as of, I guess she knows, obviously, but I guess I don't really have a time on when she has known forever. But as, like, me, Parker, I guess I never had an official coming out as Parker to her. But as trans, I had back in 2018 when I was starting my journey. Which, whoa. So maybe I need to update her, but she knows. But it's like, I can formally, but am I going to? No. But it was just two different, and it doesn't work. It doesn't help that my parents are already separated, so just on top of that is, like, a whole nother thing. But it's like, I have, the household I'm in sucks, like, it's not an accepting household, but on the other hand, I have a whole different, bigger, extended family of people who love me and accept me for who I am, so it's like, I can't really complain. But at the same time, it's like, I can be in a better place and I can be in a better environment if I wanted to, and I do. And it's just like, if she doesn't change her mind, she doesn't. But right now, I've grown to accept the fact that I am who I am, and no matter her view on me, she will not change me. And I will not change for her, because why the hell would anybody do that? Like, I am me, she is her. Like...
I think that's like Megan Thee Stallion or Cardi B just quoted.
Really?
I think so. I think one of them, I'm not sure, one of them said something very similar to that.
Ally. But yeah, I mean, I have accepted the fact that her view on me does not matter. It's all how I view myself. I am so comfortable in myself. I love myself, and if she doesn't, whatever. Who cares? Like, I'll be whoever I want to be, and if her view ever changes, then good. But right now, I'm doing what I want, and if she has a problem with it, she can go talk it up with the man upstairs.
So, moving forward, after stolen words of Megan Thee Stallion, how have you found support within your community, and what has that support meant to you?
I mean, I don't really follow, like, any kind of local things, but just, like, in general, Oh, we're gonna have a hot take right now. I feel like trans people and just how some trans people act or how they are have kind of brought a negative view to the transgender side of the community, because you'll have people who are like, frogs, you are not a frog. What are you doing? Like, you do not go by that. Like, what are you talking about? And I feel like it comes from those kinds of people. And it's like on social media, I feel like those are like the first kind of videos that people always see all the time, which is like the blah 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 pronoun and how to use them. Paints. It's like, no, you are not a paint can. Like, you are a human being. I feel like that kind of, it's actually hurting like the community, because that's like the first things people are seeing like on social media and just in general, and it's like not destroying, but it's like bringing down. There's hundreds of videos like that. Like, there's so many people like claiming they're trans or like claiming they're part of like the community and everything, and then they'll say some outlandish stuff, or like they'll identify as something like I'm an attack helicopter. Like, okay, good for you. Like,
But there's also the straight people that are homophobic and don't understand the community, that also like mock it by saying stuff like that, because in the school hallways, in public, on social media, like, you have these people that like have this crappy ideology of like, let me use this as like I saw a post the other day. Some dude was like, see, outlets, you plug, like, it's a male and female with outlets, and then it's like a reply of like, these people keep grabbing like such weird ideas to try and compare human gender, and it's just like, it's so outlandish, like,
yeah.
like, it's just so mediocre, like the things they like pick up. It's like, how do you come to this like idea of like, this is how you're going to compare human sexuality, because this is not anywhere near what human sexuality or gender is. But there are also connections that people try to say that like humans invented gay sexuality, and honestly, like, they keep coming to these points of within sexuality, orientation, gender, pronouns. Like, I don't know where it all comes from. Like, I don't know why.
Like, their mind, their imagination. It's like genuinely, like, when I was in middle school, it would be like, oh, there's like 600,000 genders, and one of them is weaponized battle toaster. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, an ongoing joke when I was legitimately in middle school was, oh yeah, like, what do you identify as? I identify as a weaponized battle toaster, so I'm better than you. It's like,
okay, getting to this like hot take, obviously a little more. A lot of people idolize like the community, and then there's like the straight people that are like, we're straight pride or whatever. And I think like the people that like don't understand like the hardships that the community's been through. I mean, gay rights have literally come from Black transgender people. Hashtag Marsha P. Johnson, I love you, babes. God rest her soul. But, you know, I feel like they think because of how highly idolized like the community is by like half the world, ignoring the other half that completely like demonize this, like the other half of the world that demonizes like the community. But like, we're not gonna acknowledge that right now. Like, the half of the world that kind of idolizes it, I think there's those straight people that are just like, I want to be a part of this or something. It's like, no, babes, you're just be an ally. Stop trying to like incorporate yourself into something, and like, you guys are essentially using all of our hardships and downfalls to be a part of something. Like, we're a welcoming community. Like, I'm not gonna lie, we like, if you go to pride events, there are so many straight allies there. Like, there's no tough love or anything between us. Like, we love everyone. We like, there's a lot of integrated hate within the community for certain people amongst other people, unfortunately. But like, we, being such a discriminated group, we don't really discriminate amongst other people. And I don't understand why people want to use like our tough moments as like leverage to like quote unquote be better or like get something out of it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
we're always the butt of the joke.
Yes, we are. I like, don't get me wrong, I love a good gay joke, a good, like, trust me, I make a bunch of them with my friends, but like, unless you can fully, I'm not asking you to like have to be gay to say a gay joke, unless you like can fully comprehend and respect the hardships and the troubles that some people have unfortunately gone through. Like, yes, there are people out there that have had such a smooth sailing coming out story, but then there are those people that have just had it rough. Like, it's a never ending storm. Their boat's been sinking this whole time. Like, there are people out there that just, unless you can comprehend that, respect it, have empathy for that, you should not be making jokes as leverage to the community. Like, no one is trying to be better than anyone. We're here simply fighting for our own rights and to be able to be properly right. And everyone's like, we see you. Like, no one cares. Like, stop shoving it in our faces. And it's like, no, babes, you don't. That's the whole point. You don't see us, because then you'd be like, they really downsize the community with their words and actions.
Like, what I was like, I feel like most, not all the time, because I feel like sometimes there are very good positive aspects of the community that get shown, like, just in general on social media and stuff, but for the most part, it's negative. And it's like those people who are trying to make things trendy, or like those people who are trying to be like allies, but they're not really allies. Like, what we were literally like, there's people who try to be involved, but they're not being involved in the correct ways. And they're trying to involve themselves in things that they don't understand, and they're just trying to be like, oh, I am an ally, and then they go on to use a slur. Like, that's not what we're here for. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do. If you're an ally, thank you. There's rules, and that's one of them.
So, moving forward, though, as someone who's questioning your sexuality, what has that exploration process been like for you?
Interesting. I always considered myself pansexual, but recently I've just been, like, saying I'm bi instead. And it's not like, I'm not like labels, like, whoever, whatever.
Labels are just guidelines.
Yeah.
You make the rules, though.
Like, I'm not a, like, label advocator. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. But obviously it's like, oh, like, what's your sexuality? I need an answer for someone, if someone were to ask me like that. So I guess why I'm questioning is just because, like, I'd rather say I'm bi, because I feel like that does describe my, like, identity more than pan does, and I'm understanding that more now, which is like, I think I just like guys and girls, man. Like, you either got something for me or you don't. Like, sit in line, wait, like, but I think
I don't think there's a line for you. I think you are the line.
You watch your mouth. You shut up. I hate you. People walk away. People said they wait too long. The line, it's like flies and like cobwebs and tumbleweeds go by.
Just a couple crickets.
So pretty much, like, I feel like I'm identifying more as bisexual now. Just not, I don't want to be like, just because it's like a simpler term. It's not. Like, I'm not saying that. It's because I feel like I really just, you're a guy, you're a girl, okay, cool. Like, like with pan, I feel like I think the reason why I identify as that is because, like, I don't feel that way. I just legitimately do not feel that way about what that sexuality consists of anymore. Like, I don't feel like I not own up to, like, that, but, like, I don't feel comfortable labeling myself with that anymore, because I've not, like, oh, I've grown and my taste in people have changed. No, like, whatever, like, a journey. It's a journey. I'm having a journey. Like, I'm changing my mind. I'm able to do that.
Labels are such a messy situation, though.
I don't understand, like, if someone avidly was like, oh, I have to label myself or it's gonna confuse everybody. Like,
so I get why people want labels. For me, I've been telling people I was gay since, well, I actually first came out as bisexual, but that lasted less than a year, and then I actually like told everyone I was gay. Because I didn't really feel attraction towards girls then, but growing a little further now, from when I first came out, it's like 5 years, give or take. Gay doesn't sit right. I hate to, like, I won't lie, like the past year or two, it's been like when people ask what are you, I say gay and I get like a scratch in the back of my throat, like,
Really?
yeah, like that label, it just doesn't, it's not like, okay, so I've never and I don't tell a lot of people this. I don't know if I talked about it on a previous episode, but I talk about it with my close friends, because rambling on with people and explaining that, yeah, I like guys, I just am attracted to girls, but I just haven't found the one that I actually have been emotionally interested in any way. So, like, getting on that little rant with, like, people, I just sum it up. I tell people I'm gay. So it's like I kind of picked that label so it would be easy to just tell people, yeah, this is what I am. And I don't like bisexual either. Like, it just doesn't, I just, like, I like guys. I've liked trans guys too before. Like, there's no, there's a lot that goes into liking people. Oh my gosh, like in the community, are you top, are you bottom, are you verse, are you femme, are you mask, are you this, are you that? Like, there's so much that people
I'm
like,
just me, bro.
Like,
I'm just Ken.
they like, oh my god, I feel like people use this as like an excuse to be like, yeah, they're not gonna work for me. Like, babes, you could make it work. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's just too much that a lot of people add. Like, people think that these labels in like any sort of way, whether it's sexuality, it's sexual preference, position, stuff like that, like labels, I think that people forget that they're not constraints. Like, they're not there to keep you in a little box. Like, be whatever you want. I don't know, like, but at the end of the day, like, don't let it fully define you. Like, I just don't. People take a label and say, let's paint it bright red and not ignore it. Like, no, it's just like a little guideline. It's like a little guardrail. Get to where you gotta get to and be you.
I think the reason why, I'm not being like, this is the reason why I choose my sexuality. No, the reason why I feel like I don't identify as pan anymore is because I've dated a variety of people who have extremely opened up, like, just my mind to things I like and the people I like and the certain people that I do like. And I feel like labeling, or not even metaphorically, labeling myself as pan does not fit with, like, the people I'm with. And I feel like it, like, not downsizes them or degrades them, but it doesn't define how I want people to view, like, my partners as well. Like, oh, I'm pan, and this is, like, my cis girlfriend. Like, that's not, I feel like that's a little, like, I can't, that's a little wonky. It's like, I don't want, because that's not how I feel. And it's like, oh, I'm bi, oh, and this is, like, my guy. Like, this is my boyfriend, and this is my trans boyfriend. Like, that fits. That works. Like, I think I'm explaining it, like, confusingly. But pretty much it's like the kinds of people I've dated have definitely opened up my mind to a whole different kind of area and things that I can explore and will continue it to explore.
And I think that's what's so harmful to people, is that once they put that label on, it's like, no, you're not what I like. Like, have you even talked to the person? Like, did you, like, everyone takes the outside of someone to be like the first yes or no. Like, a good 90% of people, I would say, take the outside of someone to be like, no, I'm not interested. But, like, you say that, and then you're like, oh, I would love someone with such great personality and this and that. But, babes, you don't let yourself meet them. Like, you don't let yourself get a hang of their personality. Like, you just shut them out of the front door as soon as you start seeing them walk on the sidewalk. Like, you did not even let them step inside your house. You didn't get to see who they truly are. Like, again, like, that's what I was trying to get at before. Like, people use these labels as constraints.
I also feel like the people who, like, religiously or, like, actively use labels are terrified to think or walk outside of them. Like, you're so focused and you're practically, like, brainwashing yourself to just stick to, like, okay, I am a gay guy, I like guys, I like this, and then you, like, see a hot girl and you're like, oh, okay, and you just blatantly ignore your feelings and blatantly ignore how you truly feel, and it's just, like, you're not open to either still exploring your sexuality or, like, broadening, like, looking outside of that. Like, if you're a gay guy, okay, are you into trans guys? Think about that. Like, it's not just, like, explore, like, expand, open your mind, bro. Like, stop trying to constrict yourself when it's just gonna lead to self-destruction. Like, it's not a good thing. Like, I don't know, step outside of your house. Go outside.
Touch
Touch
some
grass.
The way he said that in sync.
That was so good. That was so good.
Oh my god.
That was so good.
No, and I, like, honestly, though, that's what I did with myself. I think coming out as just gay and throwing off any other idea, like, I never really thought about being with a girl. But then, obviously, homophobic father, his issues of trying to come to terms with me being gay. I mean, I still have voice recordings of conversations between us. I could pull up the voice. I have receipts. And I have voice recordings of, like, car rides and stuff. And there's this one on my phone I never got rid of. And that's probably like a year old. And he would try to bribe me $500 to date a girl.
We should, outside of this, we need to do that.
No,
Like,
so, and me and my friends, and I think I told my aunt about it. I know I told her about it. I don't remember if she also gave me this idea as a joke, but I know my friends, when I told them about it, they're like, okay, take me as your girl for like a month. We convince your father, we can do all the stuff and whatever, and then, puke in afterwards and take the $500 and split it. And I was like, yeah, but I feel like I love my father. I know he loves me. We have our differences and, opinions and ideas. But, I feel like doing something like that is at a fault of myself. Like, I'm only hurting, like, I'm hurting myself in a way to try to prove something. And, like, yeah, Dad, I tried to be with a girl for a month. It didn't work out, but I also, because of that, what my main point was what I was trying to get at is those situations also sort of open my mind because I never really put any idea to it. Like, originally when I first came out and I really didn't understand much about sexuality, who I was, what I liked. I just saw men and was like, men. So, and I never I guess being around women all the time and always seeing them as friends, I never built emotional connected relationships or an attraction towards them. So fast forwarding, I want to say sophomore year of high school, I kind of started realizing maybe I might be bisexual, but I just don't like the way that label, it just doesn't fit me, I have talked to a trans guy actually before. That was, I think that was maybe freshman year of high school. It's not that I'm closed to any ideas. It's just that I never really thought about them. And I never also had the opportunity to. So it's I can't really say for sure because I know what I've done. I know what I like.
Everyone has preferences.
Yeah.
Everyone has preferences that they stick to. And it's everyone has a type.
I think
whether
I 100%
that be
would.
A personality type, a physical type, or just an attractive type. Everyone has their own kind of type. And it's all preference. Most of the time it's just preferences, but it's depending on the person, you can be open to other things. Take your type, broaden it a little bit by a little bit at a time, layer it, but it's most of the time it's just all about someone's preference.
So moving on though, how do you navigate the intersection of your gender identity and your questioning sexuality?
I will say that it made me I did date this person, and there was a looming thought when I was with him that I wasn't what he was looking for, because of the way that he identified as, and I felt like I didn't fit that, like what we were just talking about. Like I felt like I did not fit his kind of preferences or like his view, and it made me like, the not the entire time that we were dating, but sometimes it would be like, hey, like, do you actually like me, or are you just dating me because like I'm like mask presenting, or because like I'm trans? Like, I need you to actually tell me. I need you to tell me. And all the time we'd just be like, oh no, like I like you for you, like whatever. It's like, okay. So I guess just things like that. It's like, if you, like the way someone identifies almost kind of made me feel like, okay, well, I'm obviously not what you want. Like, I'm not what you want, clearly. Like, clearly. But that was like the only kind of thing that I can think of to describe what I'm talking about. English words. That's a time where I can have them clashing together, because it was interesting, because I really did feel like sometimes that I wasn't what that person needed, and it made me feel like, not that I needed to change, obviously, but I felt like that something needed to change, and it never really did. I guess with my gender identity and my sexuality, again, like, trying to meet new people and everything, and people asking, like, are you this, are you that, and, like, just seeing, like, dating profiles, or being, like, on dating apps, like, just seeing, like, someone's, like, sexuality put, and it's like, okay, well, if I like them, it's like, are they even gonna like me back, because I'm outside of that range? Like, it's just a little bit, it's like, it's confusing and it's conflicting, but it's also like, F it, like, who cares, like, whatever.
I think that's also how labels can like affect other people in a way. Like, now that you say it, like, it makes so much more sense that like, oh, I like this guy, but like he only prefers trans girls or cis girls, and it's like
for example, if I like swipe on a guy that, like, a gay guy, it's like, okay, well, again, it goes either way. Like, he can either be like, oh, okay, or he can either be like, you're not really my type because I have a preference. Like, yes, I do fit in that person's, like, I fit in that person's sexuality. Do I?
Moving along, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a transgender person?
Honestly, before I found it comfortable to be myself, and I feel like this might be I'm not gonna be like, oh, this happens to every trans person. I'm not saying that. Just, I feel like it's a common kind of thing. Why is there a guy in the women's bathroom? Like, I feel like it's a common thing. I feel like, again, like, I feel like it's a common kind of experience that most trans people go through. Either being trans male, trans femme, like, whatever. It didn't take a while, but it just, like, took mentally a while to find my self-confidence and find my, like, comfortability to, like, use the men's bathroom, because there's, like, grown-ass men in there, and that's gross. Like,
Men are very gross, though, so.
Point blank period, like, that's gross. And it didn't take long. It just took my comfortability and mentally being like, okay, it doesn't matter, like, this is how I am, and, like, it just took my comfortability within that area, and I had to grow that comfortability, and I had to grow being comfortable doing that, because, like, and in some social settings, it's still a hurdle to get over, and it's still hard, but for most of the time, it's really, like, it's not a big deal for me. And I've gotten over that because it's like, why should I be terrified? Like, why should I have anxiety about it when I clearly look like I belong in there? Like, why should I be terrified to be around men? Like, fair. There are reasons. That's besides the point. But I guess it just took my comfortability in that sense to do that, because it was worse, like, going into the women's bathroom and being, like, hard, like, actually intensely uncomfortable, like, wrongly, like, jail time uncomfortable. Like, it was not, like, it's weird. It was weird. And I had to learn how to not be uncomfortable with the opposite. And, like, obviously it doesn't matter now. But, like, in the beginning, obviously, when I said pre-transition, it was, like, my beginning of my transition, obviously. So, in the beginning, it was, like, hard and rough. But, especially in school, just want to throw that out there, like, awkward in school, like, I don't want to run into people in my class, or I don't want to run into people I know and have to explain myself if they ask or whatever. But in social settings, fine. Like, I've gotten over that, obviously. Just in the beginning, it was, like, really hard for me to kind of push myself there. I guess it sounds stupid. Like, it sounds like stupid, but I do feel like I don't want to be like most, again, not going to generalize it, but maybe other trans guys or other trans people can relate to that. Because I feel like it is pretty relatable, just in the sense, like, in general. I guess biggest challenge, I guess it was challenging for me, at least, like, to have that.
Hey, amazing listeners. Thank you for tuning into the Queer Quarters. Do you love the podcast? Then share the love with friends and on social media to help our community grow. Check out our exclusive merch on Instagram. Just click the link in our bio to see all the cool finds. Can't find what you like? DM us. We have more to share. Want to support us further? Consider donating via Patreon, PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Every bit helps keep us going. Find all the details in our Instagram bio at the Queer Quarters. Thanks for your incredible support. Now back to the show. You know, that just led me to the next question. How have you dealt with any discrimination or prejudice you've encountered?
I mean, I get over it. Like, okay. Like, if someone comes up to me and be like, hey, you look like a lesbian, I'd be like, okay. I'd laugh in their face. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Like, go home. Like, what are you saying? What are you actually telling me? Again, I love myself. I'm so confident in myself. Who in their right mind would think I'm a lesbian? Actually, like, that's crazy. Wipe that smirk off your face. Wipe that nasty smirk off your face.
You have the haircut.
Okay, but I don't feel like I dress like a masked lesbian. I feel like I dress like a dude. I mean, yeah, I'm joking about it, but truly, like, I get over it pretty easily. Like, it's not like it's gonna affect my entire mood. Like, if I don't get called sir, okay, like, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to cry? Like, I think I've just grown to understand, like, that, again, like, I can't change people's minds, and I can't understand how they view me, and I can't, like, predict how someone is gonna look at me. So it's like, I don't really care anymore, and it's like, I barely get so offended to the point where I'm like, oh, this person is an asshole, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't get like that. So it's just like, I'm hard to upset nowadays, because I just grown to not, I feel like we're all desensitized kind of to it now. So, why get upset? You know? Like, why get upset? Why waste your energy getting upset of something that you cannot control?
So, how has your emotional and mental health been impacted throughout your journey?
In the beginning, it was rough. Horrible, horrid, bad, any negative adjective ever, because I got, like, severely bullied, severely harassed. Like, it was not fun. It really wasn't. because it was just like, I'm this way and people don't like that, and they would take advantage of me or take advantage of like my emotional state and everything. It was just not a good thing in the beginning. Like, I was not ever, and like I already deal with a lot of other issues just outside of that, and it was just, I was never ever in a good mental state ever, and just having like putting more stress, not, I don't want to be like more stress on top of myself, or just like, I guess not coming out, but just putting, like, coming to terms with myself, just knowing, like, obviously I am this way and everything, just like needing other people to accept me and give me validation, like, sucked, because I wasn't already getting that for my other issues and everything. Like, I was not getting that at all, so it just made it worse. And then now I'm fine. Like, I'm fine from this. Like, I was able to overcome everything, and I was able to get out of that negative kind of headspace with my issues and with that and everything. Like, I was able to understand the fact that just because I am the way that I am does not give people the right to take advantage of me, or give people the right to make fun of me in any way possible, or try to, like, just make me uncomfortable at all. Like, no one has that right, and no one has ability to emotionally drain me, because I do not allow that kind of negative energy in, and I don't allow them to. So it took me a while to understand that, and have myself understand that I have that power, and I have the ability to prevent people taking my mental health down and destroying it.
So what other strategies or resources have you found helpful in maintaining your well-being?
Therapy! Therapy is going to be your best friend. If you're not already in therapy, highly suggest it.
Well, then comes the struggle of finding a supportive right therapist,
Yeah.
because not every therapist is for you.
Yeah. I have been in therapy. I've always been in and out of therapy, but for me, therapy is perfect. Like, therapy genuinely does really help me. And if you're able to find that kind of support, and you're able to find yourself a genuine therapist that you feel comfortable with regarding everything in your life, highly suggest you go and you seek one out. Like, everyone is always afraid to admit that they need help. And it's like, you need to find it within yourself, and you need to allow yourself to get help. Because for a long time, I refused help. And I felt like I was not worthy of getting help, and I could never find help, and I could never get better, and I didn't want to get better. And getting in therapy initially was the best thing I've ever done, because it genuinely helped me so much, and it made me understand that I am able to help myself. I am able to get better. Like, I don't have that negative and self-destroying mindset anymore. Like, I am able to get better. I'm able to feel happy when I want to feel happy. I don't have to be all negative all the time. Like, I have found a great outlet of support and validation, and just absolutely, like, just a safe space. Like, even if you don't struggle with any kind of mental health, or regarding your sexuality or gender, or just regarding life, it's still an amazing space to create with a therapist for a safe space. Like, it's an amazing way to give yourself a comfortable space to talk, rant, just to have as an outlet. And it's not like you have to go, like, every day or, like, bi-weekly. Like, I'm doing every other week. Like, but I was also doing monthly, and I was doing weekly. And that works for me. And maybe it doesn't work for you, or it does. Like, everyone has their own kind of little thing that they need. Like, if you just want to have a therapist, to just have one, like, whenever you need, like, if you need ever your safe space, like, go ahead. Or if you genuinely are struggling and you need it, like, every single second of every single day, that's even better. Like, it's so nice having someone to talk to, and having that safe place to create and have. at my disposal whenever I need it. And luckily, I do have a amazing therapist, and she has really helped me with everything. And she's given me so many, like, coping skills and everything, and I have really been in the greatest, like, mental state I have been in a long time, because this beginning of this year sucked, and I made the decision to put myself back into therapy because I knew that I needed help, and I didn't want to continue to go down my path of self-destruction and just destroy my state again. Like, I did not want to slip back into old habits because I was already doing that, and I wanted to stop. So, I put myself back into therapy because I thought it was the mature thing and right thing to do. Because I wasn't going to let myself go down a downward spiral and just, like, literally be incapable of bettering myself. So I wanted to put myself back in so I can pull myself out of the horrible space I was feeling. And I was able to do that, and I am able to do that. And every session I have, I learn more ways to better myself. And I feel like everyone always has more ways to better themselves. Like, literally just life experiences in general. Like, you will always find ways to make yourself better. Not change. Like, you don't have to change yourself for anyone or anything. Like, just better yourself. Like, there are, like, you can take that in any way you want to. Like, oh, like, I suck at communicating. Okay, like, make sure you text your friends, like, every day. Even if it's just a hi, or a good morning, or a hello. Like, it'll make you get into the headspace of communicating better and communicating sufficiently and, like, constantly. Because by doing that, you're creating a better version of yourself by just making that little forward step of bettering your communication.
So definitely, yeah, therapy can be a major outlet for people. Truly, I think one of the biggest pieces of advice is find the right therapist that fits you and your needs. But don't be afraid to start anew and get a new therapist that just fits your specific emotional and needs that you need from therapy. Therapy is about you. It's not about the therapist. It's not about anyone else. It's just simply about how you are coping with the rest of the world. So finding the right therapist is important. Otherwise, you might not really benefit from it. So Parker, what do you wish people understood more about being transgender?
I guess I really, personally, don't tell me, oh, you're gonna be a girl forever. I know. Thanks. Like, oh, you're trans? I couldn't even tell. That's the point. That's the point. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. That's legitimately the point. Thank you for stating that, Captain Obvious. Truly appreciate it. I wish people would not say that. Period. Like, but actually, I wish people would genuinely understand, like, just how to, I don't want to be like, how to support or how to give as much advice and support as possible. Like, you should just do that in general to everybody. But specifically, I wish people knew how to benefit, and I feel like people should understand how to support trans people in a healthier way, which would be like either support, like just giving resources or benefiting them with just helping their situation if they're just like in a poor kind of situation where they can't really be, they can't be out, or they can't really provide themselves like a binder or like pride flags, for example, like anything to make themselves them. I feel like I wish people understood like why or how. Just, I feel like people need to understand the person rather than their gender identity. Like, that needs to be a thing. People need to start understanding the person rather than their identity. I personally taking it as, like, I feel like I don't make it all about me being trans. Like, I don't think I am gonna introduce myself. I'm gonna be like, I'm Parker, I'm trans, please respect that. No, I don't do that. I don't make it all about that. No, that's not how I am. Like, I feel like people need to understand the person rather than obviously understand their sexuality and their gender, but like understand the person is the most important thing. You need to start understanding the person, getting to know the person, not trying to be like, oh, so you're trans, or like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, no, like, understand and get to know and make connections with the person. Overlook their sexuality and gender. Like, that's not what defines them. What defines them is their personality and how they are as a person. Like, you are honestly blocking out everything rather than their personality. And I think people need to start not doing that. Like, people need to start understanding the person rather than the way they identify. Because, yeah, the way they identify is part of them, but that's not the defining part of them. Like, the defining part of them is, like, their best quality, or, like, the way they're a big communicator, or the way that they're, like, so funny. Like, it's a person. Like, they are a person. They're human. We're human. I'm a human. I'm a person. I don't let anything else define me rather than who I make myself. Like, I don't let anyone or anything else define me. And I think this needs to be a broader thing, and people need to start putting that into their own lives, and people need to start doing that, because the more you overlook someone's, like, in a positive way, the more you overlook someone's sexuality and gender, the more you will understand them, and the more you will get to know about them. Because if every time, in every interaction you have with someone, you make it about their sexuality or their gender, they're not gonna like you, and it's not gonna be fun, because no one likes that. Like, coming from, again, taking it personally, it's not fun. Don't do that. It makes me feel bad about myself. It makes me not enjoy our time together or your company. So maybe next time, ask me my favorite color. So, because I know you want to know that, so ask me my favorite color next time.
So what's your favorite color, Parker?
My favorite color is teal. My favorite color is teal. Thank you for asking.
As we are having a full blown out conversation about you being transgender and questioning your sexuality. But sure.
No.
Ask Parker about their favorite color, guys.
Please do. Please do. If you, actually, if you ever catch me, bro, ask me my favorite color. Ask me my favorite color. Ask me my favorite food. Like, ask me my favorite place to cry. Like, anywhere, man. Like, legitimately, like, just don't ask me my views on anything else. Just my favorite color. Because that's the most important about me.
So, what are your hopes and dreams for the future, both personally and for the broader LGBTQ plus community?
More rights, let's go. Like, more acceptance, more lovingness, more, like, get rid of stereotypes and just let people be people, bro. Like, we're all human. I don't understand why it's such an issue for us to be such things. Like, we're not creatures. We are creatures, but we're not, like, little aliens. Like, we're not green people. I'm not purple. I am a human. Like, I should not be looked at differently, like I have 6 heads, when all I do is live my life. Let's support one another better in a more productive way, because it doesn't feel like it's as productive as it really should be. Because I feel like we keep getting setbacks just in the community in general, and we need to stop doing that. We need to be more productive, and we need to move forward rather than setting ourselves back. Like, we're never gonna get anywhere if we don't start advocating and just putting ourselves out there more. Personally, not my thing. But just generally, guys, let's do it.
So, what advice would you give to other young people who might be questioning or in their early discovery stages of their gender or sexuality?
You are. you are. Just, you are. If you tell yourself you're not, yes, you are. I guess, honestly, Again,
Guys, Parker does not support self-denial.
don't be in denial. It never leads you anywhere. Honestly, again, everything is always about self-acceptance. And you are what makes you you. And your journey is only yours to share and only yours to discover. It's no one else's. And your journey is what makes you human. And everyone has their own experience, and everyone has their own self-discoveries, and everyone has their own self-identities. You, whoever you may be out there, just needs to understand and give yourself the love and acceptance that you deserve. Because if you don't, you're never going to let anyone else accept you, or you're never going to let anyone else love you for who you are, because you're not letting yourself do that. And it all comes down to self-love and self-acceptance and self-discovery. It's all about accepting who you are or who you may be and allowing other people to do that. And that's not on them. If they don't want to, they don't want to. You don't have to force them. You don't have to tell them to. If no one or if someone does not accept you, that's on them. They're missing out. They're looking out on someone that they can have forever and that they can love and they can accept. And they just don't want to. And you can't change their mind until they do. And if they don't, leave them. Like, they don't matter. Their opinion and their view of you does not matter at all. All that matters is yours and your own. Like, you are your own image. You are your own person. That's all it comes down to. Like, no one else can define you. No one else can tell you how to be. Like, no one else tells you what you're supposed to be or what you're supposed to do or how your journey and your story is supposed to go. You write your own story. You write your own pages. You write your own chapters. You don't let anyone else touch that pen. You're the only one. You're the owner. You're the writer. There's no ghostwriter whatsoever. It's you. It's you and the pen and your notebook and your scribbling pages. Rather they be messy, they be neat, it's all on you. It's all about discovering and everything. You are your own person and you write your story. No one else does and no one can.
Very powerful message, Parker. Very well said. And I think it's going to touch a lot of people. Is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey or any message you'd like to send out to our listeners that you haven't already?
It's a journey. Like, I had a journey. I mean, my journey is still continuing. It's not the end. I don't think there's ever going to be an end to anybody's journey with anything.
But there are chapters within a journey. We can definitely agree on that.
And there's subtext and subcategories. Chapters, sections, pages, multiple books. Like, trilogies. Okay, like, I think that no journey, no matter what that be, ever ends. You'll always be on a journey. You'll always be on discoveries, and, like, you'll always be on a journey no matter what. There's no journey that ever comes to an end. You're always discovering stuff. You're always exploring. Like, there's never an end to it, because I don't think there's ever going to be an end to anything. Like, you are your person, and you get to create the moments and the experiences that you experience. Like, you are able to write your own life, and no one else can write it for you. Like, no one tells you how to live it. No one should. No one will. And you don't listen to it if they do. Like, no one does. Like, everyone's journey is ongoing until you feel like it's over.
So thank you, Parker, for being here and sharing your story with our listeners.
You're so very welcome, Jason. I had so much fun.
For our listeners, if you're listening on Spotify, please take a moment to leave a rating on our podcast and respond to our opening question and poll to engage further with us and this episode. Don't forget to share this episode and connect with us on social media to continue the conversation. Until next time, keep celebrating your identity and supporting each other. This is the Queer Quarters signing off.